Oh gosh, I'm already live. Why are you doing this? Wants me to do this. Alright. Hello! And wow. Welcome to 5 planets in Gemini. um, so let's do my normal start and then we'll dig into what's happening here. So, hello. Welcome to your astrological vibrations for Thursday, June 6th, 2024 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi, and our energy mantra for today that I've now forgotten in the chaos of getting this set up. What was it? How squirrel can we be? It was, oh, I trust that I know what I need to know in the divine unfolding. So much stuff. So we had a long day. I had to take Joe to a doctor today. Nothing's wrong, just stuff, just doctor stuff. And I get home and it's already late and my computer won't turn on. Just decided to say hi. Wouldn't turn on. And I'm like, oh my gosh, did it decide to die? Like, did it just give up the goat? And I finally got it to turn on. So it's on. It's right here. It's actually holding up my phone. But it's running like a PC from from the late 1900s. And the internet is like dial-up internet. It's so slow. And I tried to record and it was like that. So that didn't work. So here we are, and we're going to talk about this new moon and these planets all in Gemini, which is causing some shenanigans. And I have to tell you that the whole time that I'm like dealing with this, I'm like, you have to get a new computer, which I've known like it's coming, but I haven't been ready for it. So the whole time in the back of my mind, what I couldn't stop thinking about was when we had Mercury and Uranus together like a week ago, and I was like, upgrades, and that's what I kept hearing in the back of my mind is upgrades, and how Gemini energy requires change, and all these 5 planets in Gemini, including this Sun, Venus, Moon conjunction in Gemini, is going to bring some change. It's going to bring some upgrades, and some of it's going to be like right here, right now, and some of it's not. I wish that I could change. I don't know what's happening with these lights all here, but let's talk about the astro and just do this thing. So this is the main event, this new moon. The new moon is happening at 5:38 a.m. Pacific time. It is at 16 degrees, and like I said, it is conjunct Venus, which is also still hanging out at 16 degrees Gemini. So this is a powerful new moon, bringing the shenanigans, but again, bringing upgrades. And so keep that in mind. I think that every new moon has its own unique power when it comes to setting and utilizing intentions. And I think that the power of Gemini is the use of words, the use of writing, the use of communication between you and the universe to communicate like exactly what it is you want. To communicate exactly what it is that you want, and to trust in the story that you're writing that's unfolding for you in regards to what you want. So that's what I was going to actually focus on today, is the story and the telling of the story, and even the challenge of the stories that we still tell. So today I woke up and I was like, I'm feeling so good and blah, 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 and I'm telling beautiful, great stories in my head because I listen to my astro and I try to follow what comes through. And suddenly there's this part of me that was so scared to feel good, because it feels like when you're like flying high and then you fall, or the shoe falls or whatever, that it's scary, that it's hard, that it hurts worse. And I was like, I'm afraid to feel good because it's going to hurt really bad when something bad happens. And I was like, oh, wow. Wow. There's the story under the story. There's that subconscious thing that kind of can keep me and or anybody who may have some of those subconscious fears hanging out in middle land instead of really reaching those heights. And so in this dark of the moon, building to this new moon with upgrades, with these upgrades, it's important to note if you have something like that show up. I definitely have known in the past, like I'm always like, when's the other shoe gonna, hit the ground? Here's my other shoe today with this computer technology thing, but it's not so bad. It's this call to upgrades, and I think about these times where the shoe has hit, the floor, where we've had those challenges. I think the biggest one being, it was almost a year ago, last year, when Joe almost died. It was terrible. It was so scary. I was literally racing to the hospital, like praying that he made it through this sudden serious surgery that he had to have. But he has been on this up and up and up upgrade path since then, truly. I am working on believing what I say in the morning, that everything is working in my fortune. And yes, there are those little like voices in the back that are like, that's not true, that's a lie, blah, blah, blah. And those things have to be faced. And so this is part of this energy. Noticing, sorry, Lucci's also shenaniganing in the background. Noticing those places where, where you want to feel good, where you want to tell these beautiful stories, where you want to use your illusion. And then those little voices that come in and undermine your stories, that undermine the good. Recognize this in this energy. This is part of the moon. Part of the moon's work and part of the dark of the moon work is the practice of like revealing some of that shadow. And some of the shadow may be around Venus stuff. It may be around, the capacity of love to hold you, for you to hold the capacity of love, around relationships, around your worth, around money. I'm like, buying a new computer is not in my budget. And the universe is like, upgrades, we'll figure it out. There's probably going to be a reading sale, right? So this is what we're working with in this new moon energy. What are the stories that you want to tell? But what are the blocks that are coming up now? Because chances are there's some other deeper ones, and that's okay. But what are the blocks that are showing themselves right now when it comes to your story? Now, the other interesting piece of this, so in astrology is very interesting. They like to make things gender-oriented, right? Like some things have masculine or feminine. I like to use yin or yang. So we have the moon, which the moon has a little bit more of a yin feel to it. We have Venus, which has a little bit more of a yin feel to it. And we have them connecting to Lilith, which also has that yin energy to it. So there's this strong yin energy, which is causing us to the shenanigans that are happening right now. Thank you, Lucci. The shenanigans. This is so Gemini. It could not be more Gemini. Yield. Yield to the flow. Yield to the unfolding. Whether it is technology on the fritz, or whatever it's going to be, all of this is feeding into those upgrades, into the new unfolding that we're moving into. Now, it's interesting because the saving symbol, which I can't read right now because I had it pulled up on my phone, and I'm here on my phone. But the Sabian symbol is basically like a female activist um, giving an emotional speech, is basically the essence of the Sabian symbol for this. And it reminds us how powerful our words are when it comes to emotions, how powerful our stories are in engaging emotions. And I do think that it could have undertones that do connect to, what's happening in the world and the activism that's happening according to what's happening in the world. But I think it's a reminder how intricately tied in our mind and emotions can be, and to be just so aware of that in this new moon energy. Besides all this unfolding, we have the moon and Saturn also connecting, and Saturn also has like those divine timing, pieces in it, and it has some karmic energy. And it's also, while it's in Pisces, they call to trust. So do keep that in mind, because that's where the moon goes and connects with next after it's in that new moon energy. So let me show you my cards and then be done with all of this shenanigans. Yes. All right. So my favorite card in this is the Beyond Illusion card. And I would like to call this card the Use Your Illusion card. Tell your stories and know that the power of your stories has, has weight in the universe, has energy in the universe. And part of these stories is the telling of your intentions. Don't be afraid to tell your intentions to the universe, and know it has impact. That being said, we gotta look at some of the shadows. This card has come up a few times this week, and there's some sorrow. There may be some, again, feeling through some of the layers. Like I said, like, oh, I'm kind of scared to tell good stories because it's gonna hurt too much. That's another story. It's gonna hurt too much when I fall and hit my butt, or, the shoe hits. So be aware of those shadows coming up and the feels, and it's okay. Don't be afraid to feel and process the feels. This card has also showed up multiple times this week, the Politics card. And I think it's, to me, what's coming through right now is being aware when you're aware that you're faking it in the story. Like, I am a millionaire and buying a new computer is no problem for me. Like, okay, I know that's fake. I can't believe that. But a story I can believe where I don't feel fake is the universe. I'm co-creating this with the universe, and the universe is telling me it's time for me to upgrade my technology. Something like that, and the universe will provide ways for me to upgrade my technology. That does not make me feel like a liar. That feels true. So be aware, if you're feeling like a liar, you gotta shift and transform and empower your story to something that you can believe. Final card, again, the universe, nothingness. This is a card that represents pure potentiality. Know that if you can dream it, the universe has its ways. And you just gotta work through those places where you're like, no, that's not gonna happen, to where you can, again, co-create, work with the universe. This is a very powerful new moon. Reach for the good. That's part of the Venus. Reach for the good. Recognize those shadow pieces. That may be part of that Lilith energy connecting in. That yin energy that has felt dropped, that has not felt supported. But don't be afraid to reach for it. And Joe had mentioned something about timelines, and we're gonna potentially talk about that in my patron group. I'm gonna have a new moon patron group. You can join that if you would like to. My patron groups help support me getting a new computer. So you can check that out, and he can help support people in timelining. So I'm gonna leave this here for today. Me and my crazy technology. Ooh, look. What are these lines? Anyway, please book a reading with me. I need to buy a new computer, and the universe is gonna support and show me how. And the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and remember who you are, for you are the solution. Namaste. And now I gotta figure out how to turn this thing off. Let's see. Oh, not like that. Let's see. Is it this? Are you sure I want to start streaming? Yes.